Yo, what's going on everybody? Carnage back here again, and today I am back with a brand new video of just some things I picked up at a antique show slash thrift shop earlier today. Picked up a lot of Avengers books, and I did find one pretty cool Avengers key, but I'm going to be saving that stuff for last. The first thing I'm going to show. I got this for $1. This is Captain America Disassembled. Mostly just picked it up because, it was $1 and I, kind of curious about it. The art looks pretty good on the inside. Reminds me a lot of the early 2000s stuff. I don't remember, or I didn't, look to see who wrote it. Contains, I'm not going to worry about that. If any of you know who did this Captain America Disassembled book, just please let me know. And from what it looks like, this contains... I'm not so sure, because it's kind of confusing me. Because right there, it says Captain America 29 through 32 and Captain America and the Falcon 5 through 7. So this is kind of just a couple of different series put into one book. Which, I mean, seems pretty interesting. And then the next things I'm going to show, which are kind of the miscellaneous things. These two I just bought by themselves. Random Daredevil book. Mostly buying Daredevil now just because, Charlie Cox just kind of made his way my favorite one. And this was the only Daredevil book I saw today. This is Daredevil issue 295. And he teams up with Ghost Rider in this. I don't know if this is like a key or anything. I didn't look it up. As you can tell, it is kind of a little, bent. And, spine's not super fantastic. But, for $3, I wasn't going to complain. I found this book for $1. Carnage number 3. And mostly, I believe this is from like the first Carnage series, if I'm not mistaken. So, and, I'm a Carnage guy, if you can tell by the name. So definitely trying to at least try to figure out how to get, that series eventually. And then the rest of this stuff came from one place. These were the only two non-Avengers books in the lot. First one up is Fantastic Four number 302. I just thought this was just a really cool cover, and also Fantastic Four is kind of, the movie kind of getting me a little hyped, so definitely had to pick up at least a Fantastic Four book. And this one I thought was just kind of funny. This is The Incredible Hulk versus Quasimodo. And that's just kind of funny to me. And I think my uncle had this book at one point, the one who gave me the Hulk 181. I think he had this book at one point, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was one of them. I don't quite remember, but, I had to get it because, it just looked very interesting. And also, all these books I got were $2.50 each because he had this deal where it was buy two for $5. So kind of went a little crazy on that. So I got those two. And then I got a ton of Avengers stuff. It's not numerically ordered, but, all of it's roughly from around the same time. Here is Avengers number 228. The last trial of the Yellow Jacket. Henry Pym, do solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I am a big Avengers fan, so I do have a big goal to try to, complete the entirety of the Avengers run at some point, and, gotta, work on that a little bit. And this is issue 233, and I believe this one is the third appearance of Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. I might be mistaken about that, but, I believe that's what that one is. Next up is a little bit of an older one. This is Avengers issue 180. Pretty cool. Definitely interesting cover. And this is from the team that had Beast on it. I believe this is drawn by George Perez. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was around the time George Perez was on this. Next up is the earliest Avengers book I found. This is issue number 148. Pretty cool book. Mostly picked it up because it was, an earlier Avengers book. And, Squadron Supreme, one of my favorite ones. I know this is like a minor key. One of the characters becomes a different character. Not like main Marvel wise, but I think one of the Squadron Supreme members, if I am not mistaken. Can't fully remember off the top of my head. Issue 216, beautiful cover. One of my favorites that I saw on this guy is, Lot. Just really cool Tigra, avenge us, Tigra. The Molecule Man must die, which I don't know what the hell she is going to do against Molecule Man, but, still pretty cool. Up next, the only annual that I picked up, and mostly because it was a very cool one. And we are actually so close to completing this, but we haven't had a Star Fox made yet, so, like Marvel Legends wise, I mean. So, all I'm saying is, I know She-Hulk won't be in that exact outfit, but we basically have all of these characters in Marvel Legends form except Star Fox. So, all I'm saying is, Hasbro, it's Thanos' brother. He did technically show up in a movie, yet I believe there's only ever been, barely any figures made, Mini-Mate-wise, I believe he's had a couple. And, action figure-wise, I think, if I remember correctly, he was a 3 3/4 inch for, an Infinity Gauntlet set with, Thanos and, gosh, a couple other ones I can't really think of off the top of my head. And another beautiful cover from around this time. This is issue 230, and so cool. Such a cool cover. And then, this was actually the only key, big key I saw in the box, and it's roughly a $30 book. And other than, maybe legitimately, a couple spine ticks, this book looks nearly perfect. That is Avengers issue number 232. And, excuse me, this is where Eros, aka Thanos' brother, gets his name changed to Star Fox, and I believe it's also his first appearance. I might be mistaken about that, but, I didn't even realize it. Up there it says, June. So this book, his birthday is this month, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is only a $30 book, but, still, beautiful cover, beautiful. And I know a lot of people aren't really big fans of, the heads on the covers. I really like that. That's very classic looking. And again, like I said, we can almost recreate this. The only thing we need is Star Fox. And, I know Star Fox is probably, a weird character, but, excuse me. Just look at him. He looks so cool, in my personal opinion. And, also kind of an underutilized character, because I don't remember the last time he was even used in anything. Alright, now going on to kind of the more miscellaneous things I picked up. I picked up 2 Blu-rays just because, they were, excessively cheap. And by that I mean, they were they had a deal where it was buy 2 for $10. And I found Teen Wolf. I've only ever seen this movie once. And, whoo, baby, I'm very excited to rewatch it. It's been so long since I watched it. And it was one of my favorite movies when, I did watch it. And, I lost my, DVD of Paul Blart Mall Cop. So when I found this, I was like, $5? Why not? One of my favorite movies of all time, man. Paul Blart. So cool. And I did find a place that was selling some older video games. They did have quite a few I would like, but I was kind of running low on the money that I did bring, and I didn't really want to, overdo it on that. So I only picked out one video game, and it was Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series, because I totally forgot Guardians of the Galaxy had a Telltale series video game. And, for those of you who watched my live streams, I've played the entirety of The Walking Dead, Telltale. I've done The Wolf Among Us, which really excited for game number 2. And I've played a bit of the Batman. I have recorded it, but I have played the Batman one. And, I am playing this one. Like, I just, opened it up and started playing it. It's a little boring so far, but, then again, I've only played the first, 15 to 20 minutes of it. So, kind of excited to see where that goes. And I did pick up 2 action figures. Gonna show this one first. This one's not from the show. On my way home, I stopped by a Walmart, and as usual, I have to look in the clearance section. And I actually found one that I was kind of excited about. And it's probably one that most people don't really care about. I understand why, just because it's kind of a meh figure. But I did find Egghead. Uh, Legitimately, everything that's here is what he came with, other than, the what's her name? Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure piece. But pretty decent figure so far. Not too shabby. Definitely could be a little better, but I mean, not bad. And then this one I was the most excited to find. He does have a bit of a damaged leg, but I mean, I didn't even notice that until after I got home. And, stretches a little too far. But yeah. This is actually from a series that I haven't collected in, gosh, maybe over a year at this point. But this is the DC Universe Classics Nightwing. And he is basically complete. All he's missing is one of his Eskrima sticks. I think that's what these are called. But other than that, dude is 100% complete. Looks fantastic. He does have a small amount of paint rub, on his shoulder. But I mean, other than that, everything about this is just, my goodness. And he does have a bit of paint, goofed up, and, a little bit of blue paint right there. But I mean, other than that, this is something I've been wanting for a while, just because, Nightwing is one of my favorite DC characters. I don't read Nightwing, but, movie-wise / TV show-wise, Nightwing is definitely by far one of the, if not the best, DC character. He's basically, DC's poster boy at this point in my eyes. But yeah, that's basically, yeah, very happy with what I found. The 2 favorite things I can say I definitely got were the Nightwing and the first appearance of Star Fox, or, the first naming of Star Fox. But yeah, that's basically all I have to show you guys today. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.